Hey guys, welcome to this video. Before we go on today to learn while loops, I just want to say if you're finding my content useful or if you're enjoying whatever it is I'm teaching, like if you're finding it useful and helpful, I want to encourage you to subscribe. Okay, kindly subscribe to my channel so that you'll be updated anytime I send new videos. And like them, leave comments behind. I actually want to hear what you think about the videos, whether the sound is okay, whether the 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 topic is good enough, what you expect to hear in the next video, what topics you are interested in, stuff like that. Okay, I would be very grateful if you can leave such reviews and comments behind for me. All right, so let's go for it. Today we want to learn while, okay, not just while loops. We are coming to learn loops, okay. And for loops, we have two kinds of loops. We have the while loop. I'm just going to keep. So we have the while loop and we have the for loop, okay. Okay, then I don't need to spell loop up there, do I? Remove it. Okay, so we have the while loop and the for loop. Where do we go? Um, let's start with the while loop. Now, the while loop usually in Python is when you hear a name like if statement, while loop, for loop, it usually means they start with that term. Okay, they start with that function. Okay, so the while loop also starts like this. And while loops are, I think you understand the meaning of a loop. A loop means something that is in like occurring in a circular manner, or that's something that's recurring. I think that's the word, recurring. So basically, until it interrupts in the cycle, it doesn't end. Let's just try something. Let's try something. While true, okay. Or if you are not understanding this true, I'm just going to say a equals to 10, like in our previous video, and b equals to 5. Okay, and you come and say while, I just want to go straight. So while a is greater than b, print. Oh, this one should be indented. Okay, so any suite of code or any block of code um you are writing in a loop or a function or if statement or whatever it is, always make sure that it's indented. Okay, so print a is greater than b, or a is always greater. I have to work on my examples. I have very bad examples. Okay, so now we're telling that if this condition is true, keep doing this. Okay, and we run. It's always want to keep printing. It's still printing. It's still printing. Does it end? It won't end. In fact, it could print like this until your memory runs out. Okay, so that's an infinite loop. Okay, this loop is infinite. You need to actually stop it. That's a good thing they brought this one here. Okay, so you need to actually stop it because it was going to keep running and keep running and keep running and keep running. You can imagine how many it has printed. Okay, it's just going to keep running, keep running, keep running, keep running, keep running. All right, so that's the idea of while loops. They allow you to be able to create cycles or recursions that do not have end unless you interrupt it. Okay, so now how do you interrupt this one? How do you interrupt this one? We can keep increasing. We are just comparing if a is greater than b, and because a is greater than b, is going to keep doing this. So why don't we say after that you add, let's say you add 1. Okay, b plus 1. I think you've seen this before, right? So what this does is it will take the value of b, the previous value of b, and add 1 to it and assign it back to b. Okay, and there's a simpler way of doing that. You can just say b plus equals to 1. Okay, b plus or equals to plus equals to 1. It will still be the same thing. All right, now it didn't print for a long time. It checked for the first one. A is 10, b is 5. It says okay, 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 then a is greater. All right, then it added 1 to the 5, making it 6, right? And it checked again, 6, 10. Okay, okay, true. It added 1 to the 6, making it 7. Then it went again. Okay, 7 and 10. Added 1, 8 and 10. Added 1, 9 and 10. Then added 1, 10 and 10. Now 10 and 10, this condition could not run, so it stopped at 9 and 10. Okay, so this is 9 and 10 you are seeing. I don't know if you get it. If you don't get it, let's just try something. Print B. Let's print B here. It says B is 10. That's the final answer for B. Because B is 10, it couldn't do anything. So you would have seen another A is always greater here, but it's not there. Alright, so that's a way you can interrupt with loops. Loops are actually very useful. If you don't understand how useful they are, let's just try this simple example. Then you'll see. Now, remember we dealt with lists, right? And we dealt with input functions. Okay. I'm just going to try something like this. age, I'm going to say age equals to, or ages equals to, I'm going to create a list of ages, okay, a list of ages, and I'm going to say, so we have a container, okay, that is supposed to have ages inside it, but right now it's empty. So what we're going to do is we're going to request the user to input ages. Maybe you are asking the class rep to give the ages of the class members in his class. So he's going to keep adding and keep adding and keep adding and keep adding. All right. Maybe you can put a condition to stop. Otherwise, you just keep adding until it's tired. All right. So now let's see. While true. Okay. Do we want to deal with an infinite loop? No. Let's say while, now you'll be seeing things like while the length of this ages, okay, is less than, oh, okay, is greater than, is greater than what? It's greater than 10, okay. 10 is too much, but it's greater than 10. Then do this. Age equals to int. So we'll be dealing with ages. So int input age, okay, input age. All right. Then you now come and say ages dot append age. Does this make sense to you? Let me re-explain it. Now we have a container called ages. Okay, ages is like an empty container right now. We should have put numbers into it and those stuff, but we've just left it as empty. Now we are saying that while the length of this ages, the length of the ages means the number of things inside this container right now is 0. Okay, while 0 is less than 10. So while the length of ages is less than 10, do this thing. What should it do? Ask the user for age. Change the age into an integer. Assign the integer to a variable called age. And now ages.append age now means this list. Add age to this list. Okay, that's what this one means. Okay, this one means, let me just put it for you in case you want to remember. Add to list. The list is called ages. Okay, so add to ages. Okay, so that's what it will do. Now let's run it. Okay, is greater. Oh, sorry, this one is less than. Sorry, while the ages is less than 10, so it should do that. Okay, so now we have 20, 12, 23, 21, 25, 12 again, 13, 14, 15, 13. Oh, okay, and that's all. Wow, how is that possible? Now let's just try to find out what the list contains now. Oh, see, it contains 9 names. It contains actually all the names we've been adding. You see, so what it does is it gets the name and add it to the list, get the name, add 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 to the list. It's actually interesting. You would find these things useful. Okay, you find these things useful. So just imagine you were having a program that keeps appending names to lists or keeps appending ages to lists. It's very important. Like how I put it, it's a useful function. Okay, that's one way you can use the while statement. Now, I'm just going to copy this one because I need it to work with other things. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this one and put inside here. Okay, so that's while statement for you. So it checks if this condition is true. Note this condition must be true for it to work. Remember when we put this one as the greater sign, it didn't work because that condition was wrong. So it always checks to see if this condition is true. If the condition is true, it's going to work. All right, and how is it going to work? It will start evaluating these functions and then doing whatever it's supposed to do in there. Oh, and with the while loops, there's something I forgot to explain to you about. Now there's something called the break. Okay, the break. Let's see how to use it. You remember when we printed the infinite loop, how it was difficult to end it. Let me just do this one again. While true, while true, print print something. Okay, print dash dash dash. Okay, it kept printing and printing and printing and printing and printing. Now how do you break it? I showed you an incremental way of breaking it by increasing a particular um, counter, okay, a particular variable, so that when it reaches a particular level, it can stop, and then the whole cycle breaks. Yeah, there's also a break. Okay, there's also a function called break. Now let's just work an example out, and then you see how it's done. I think I should start this one all over. I'm just going to say a equals to let's say 1, okay, and then I'm going to say while a is less than 9. Okay, first print A, okay, and then you check. But that's, you don't need to print A. Just check check if A is equal. Check if A is equals to 3. Okay, now let's say 4. If that's true, you break. Okay, you can use an else here, else continue, but you can use an else here. So for now, let's just work with this. Okay, then what happens? We want to increment A again by 1. Okay, so let me just explain what I just said. Now we have a variable called A, like in the previous one. Now I'm saying that while A is less than 9, obviously it's less than 9, right? So you should check if A is equals to 4. If A is 4, it should break. So it's going to keep running and keep running and increasing the value of A until A is equals to 4. When A is 4, it stops. Let's see. Oh, we didn't print anything. Sorry. Print A. Okay. So you see, it prints 1, 2, 3, 4, and when you go to the fourth one, it stops. It's just another way of dealing with infinite loops. Now let's talk about for loops. Okay. Now for loops basically work in the same way, except that you don't have infinite for loops unless you figure out a way to maneuver your way through to create a for loop. For instance, you can blend a while loop with a for loop to get an infinite loop. But I'm sure when it's useful, you figure it out. All right, so now for loops. How do for loops work? Now, how for loops usually work with um, iterable objects. Okay, for instance, ages is a list. It's something that you can go, like it's something with elements that you can move from one to another to another to another to another. Okay, I don't know how else to explain, but let's just try with an example. I'm going to say for a in ages print a. Okay, what does it say? It gives us 20, 12, 23, 21, 25. You see, it's following these numbers. Okay, it's basically printing whatever is inside those numbers. Now, what you're telling it is for every element in this list. Do you understand? For every element in ages, so every element in this list, do this to that element. Okay. Now, a is not constant. You can change a to I. Okay, and it will still give you the same. What's this? Okay, print I. You can change A to I and then it will still give you the same thing. You can change it to Q. I used to think they were constants the time I was learning, but I realized that they're not constants. You can change it to any variable. So you can say for age, it's going to be the same thing for age and ages. Okay, oh, age. For age and ages, do this. It's going to give you the same answer. Okay, it's not a constant. It's not a constant. It's just a variable that you want to access for other things. So you could have said print this plus 14 years, okay, to his age, and then you'll be getting 14 plus of whatever you're supposed to get. Do you see how useful it is? Yeah,